Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It is Looks That Kill Part 2 on NWA, and we have two people joining us. One of them's a cat this week, and the second one is, of
Sorry.
course, my lovely co-host, Miss Fiona Lockran. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. It's Hump Day for those in the UK
Woo-hoo.
that, well, for those of you know that's halfway through the week at time of recording, of course. Although this generally goes out same day, so it'll be Hump Day anyway, unless you're in Australia or somewhere else where the time difference is changed dramatically. NWA looks to kill. First things first, though, Fee. You went and saw the current and reigning NWA champion this past weekend, Mr. Latimer. How was it?
I did indeed. I popped along. I used to be an avid ICW girl. I would be there at every show, and latterly I haven't been. I think the crowd of people that I used to go with no longer went, and I just kind of fell away as well. But I returned to ICW to the Square Go, which is their equivalent of the Rumble. But in Glasgow, if you fight someone, you kind of say, "Do you want a Square Go?" And that means, "Do you want to fight?" So it's called Square Go. To see the £10 gold in Glasgow in front of me was pretty friggin' cool.
Yeah.
He had a banger of a match with a lad called Aaron Echo, who's been around the scene in Scotland for quite a while now. Really evenly matched. It's insane championship wrestling, so of course it didn't stay in the ring. It came out the ring, it came through the crowd, it came to the bar, there was drinks flying everywhere, there was chairs flying everywhere. And it was so much fun. So obviously, yeah, I really enjoyed it. But like I said, seeing the belt in front of me just there was really cool, particularly in my hometown. Obviously, I've been at shows and I've seen
Yeah.
it, but to see it in my hometown, and I've just heard he's going up to defend it in Canada as well. So
Was
we
he?
are talking a true kind of world fighting champion, which is pretty cool.
Oh, well.
But to top it all off as well, other Tom was in the singles match. He didn't take part in the Rumble, but his wife made a guest appearance in the Rumble.
Camille.
So Camille had a good wee stint in the square goal, and did well. And I got to catch up with him literally for like a couple of minutes at the end of the show. So all
Makes me
good.
wonder with Camille what's going on there because we saw her in TNA for TNA in AEW for a cup of coffee and she's not been there since.
I don't know.
No, neither do I. Hopefully, we'll see her on our screens very, very soon. And just quickly, we were just talking off air about another former NWA star that's just debuted for a company, and that would be Ricky Starks. And you said how good he was in the
You
NWA.
missed them, yeah, because you missed those first early seasons of Power.
Did. Yeah.
I loved Ricky when he was in the beginning in NWA at the beginning of the Power season. I'm so sorry about my cat, by the way. Right, sit there, chill. Um, Yeah, he was great. He had some good matches and stuff, and I was really excited for him when he went to AEW. Interesting to see what he's going to do in NXT, and they knew who he was there, so that was cool.
It's just whether he keeps the name of Ricky Starks will
Oh, I
be
hope he does, but you
they've
never know.
they've trademarked about 15 names.
I saw that. I did see that.
I hope he stays as Ricky Starks. But we'll see. We'll see. But we'll see how he does in NXT. And the good thing was they put him down there because you can't bang him on the roster this close to WrestleMania. It wouldn't work
Yeah.
for sure. Anyway, anyway, let's not talk about WWE. Let's talk about NWA. Looks at Kill part numero. No, I was going to say numero uno. That's one.
No, it's numero
Yeah.
dos.
Numero dos. Thank you. Um, another title special, tag title special, really this week with a no limits match in the middle, which we are going to get to, and it was
Yeah.
incredible. But NWA started this week with someone that was on the show quite recently, Daisy Kill, and his tag team partner Talos against Knox and Murdoch. Hot start to this one, that's
It
for sure.
was. And just, yeah, obviously championships on the match, 20-minute time limit on this one as well.
Yes, 20-minute time. I must say it went to a break reasonably
Like
quick.
literally a minute in, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was like, oh, here we go. Oh, it's going to a break.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway,
Talos made Trevor Murdoch look like he was as light as a feather.
yes, he made Trevor
Although, let's give Trevor his due. Trevor looks amazing at the moment.
does. Trevor's
I've said this before, but he's in the shape of his life right now.
he is. Yeah, he certainly is. He's looking really well. As you correctly said, Talos made him look like a cruiserweight
Yeah.
in a lot of this. And I did find that it was quite a lot of a meat slapper to a degree. And then obviously not only did Talos make Trevor Murdoch look like a cruiserweight, he was throwing him around like a cruiserweight
He was indeed. He
uh,
was indeed.
during this match. Trevor took the brunt of this in these tag matches. Sometimes it's Knox, but Murdoch on this one, it was certainly his turn to take the brunt of the punishment in this
Yeah.
match. And he did.
No, Knox was more kind of like on the sidelines when
Mm.
Talos is on the ropes and things like that, just kind of keeping Trevor safe from an additional side attack for the most part.
Yeah, he did. And then finally made the tag. And I've written this down. Knox gave Talos the crossbody and Talos bounced back up.
I know. What is that all about?
It's, it was like, as you see it sometimes when they, I'm not saying no sell, but obviously it was, keep Talos strong in this. And it was incredible. I don't mind seeing it so much. Like when you see it in other things, because you see it so often in other companies, you're just like, oh. But when I saw it on the NWA, it's probably like the first time I've seen it, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, Talos means business.
Christ almighty, yeah, he meant business. But unfortunately for them, Daisy Kill did get tagged in, and he was on the brunt end of the high low.
I think he missed their tag.
I think he did too.
He had his back turned and he missed the tag and they just knocked him right off his feet.
They did the big high low from Knox and Murdoch. Didn't that used to be the Eliminators move in ECW? New Jack and I can't remember his name. The other guy's name. I'm sure it was. Anyway, I digress. Yes, the high low gets the victory. I must say though, Daisy Kill and Talos didn't seem very when they were going up the ramp. Daisy was
Yeah,
pushing
Daisy's
them.
shoving Talos back up the ramp. I'm like, okay, dissension in the ranks, maybe. I don't know.
I thought that, and I was just like, "Oh, hang on, you don't want to be pushing Talos up."
But let's be honest, they pretty fired up and Daisy, when we spoke to Daisy the other week, he was like gunning for this match.
He
So
was. He was, to be fair to him. He was gunning for the match. And yeah, it's obviously disappointing. He's the one that took the pinfall as well. So there's going to be a tad of disappointment. I just wouldn't want to be pushing Talos, really, to be quite honest.
yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't.
I don't know if that was a smart move.
No, I don't think it is either. Well, we'll find out though anyway, because well, they're not going to happen next week. I suppose we won't really see unless there's an interview as such. We've only had one match announced for next week, which we'll get to, which we kind of know what happens in. Although when they announced that match at the end of NWA, it confused me even more. I'll tell you when we get to it. Anyway, we've got a bit of time yet. Now, Jesus, no limits. No limit. I mean, I think I said the other week on the NWA, I can't remember what match it was, and I think I said that was probably one of my matches of the year.
It's
Scrap,
changed now, hasn't it?
scrap that. You you can rip that up. Colby Carino, Kerry Morton, no limits. Holy shit! What
Even
a
on
match.
paper, this was going to be good.
Yeah, you knew it was going to just by saying the two names.
And when they start a match slapping each other in the face, you know they mean business.
They do. They've had a lot of hatred these two, and obviously Colby's been involved in the Southern Six shenanigans with Kyle
Yeah.
and whatnot over the last few months. I think it said it almost happened in the ring, though, wasn't it? The pinfall was like must take place in the ring or the
Yeah.
submission. Can't
But
take.
there was plenty of out-ring shenanigans and not early on as well with Colby diving out the ring and then
Yeah.
Kerry slamming him onto that ramp. But
Yes.
even the floor, there was no covering on the floor, so the floor's
No.
concrete and stuff. Like that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, they don't have mats for those of you that don't watch the NWO. They don't have mats on the outside of the ring. So when you are diving and getting slammed, you're getting slammed onto the floor, pretty with no give, basically.
Yeah.
Apart from the ramp, obviously, but that was probably going to hurt Colby's back a little bit from there. I mean, and then of course it doesn't take too long after that. Then all of a sudden the ring's full of chairs.
Of course. But before we get to that point, I'd just like to cover the fact that there's obviously still some animosity between Kyle and the Southern Six because Kerry has Colby in a fishhook and he's basically baiting Kyle while he's got Colby like totally hooked in and I was like, this is interesting. Like, is this the last we've seen of Kyle getting involved with the Southern Six or not? Like, could we potentially see Kyle in the ring again? Who knows?
Maybe. I must say, I still think he's suffering a bit of concussion. I'll get to that in a bit near the end of the show. But yeah, I mean, he did get that, and it does make you wonder, yeah, if Carl was, if he's fully finished with, maybe he's finished with Silas, maybe he's going to go for the other two
You never
coming up.
know.
But Jesus, the chairs, there
There was
was,
like, what, six of them?
yeah, there was at least half a dozen in that.
That first fall onto the chairs, though, because Colby's like starting to make some sort of monument
Weird. Yeah.
statue, but Kerry bests him, and Kerry actually gets him up, and the top chair's upturned with the feet
Yeah.
up, and Kerry gets him on top of that, and that just
It
not
looked
no does not look comfortable at all.
It looked really nasty. There was a toe hold, the old that you always get the toe hold onto the chair now, didn't you? That old
Yeah,
that one comes back in. And did Kerry not do something that? Oh yeah, he had him in the sleeper, didn't he? And a
he
bit
did.
like Colby's dad, he
Colby's
sat down on the
dad, yeah,
chair. Steve Carino, he sat down on the chair and put him in the sleeper, which I thought was a great throwback.
yeah,
Into it. There was a slingshot suplex onto chairs. Then Kerry tried to throw Colby off the rope onto the chairs and miss, and he
and
missed.
missed. And then there was a friggin' tombstone pile driver onto them.
There was, which only got a two, I might add. Only got a two.
How?
I don't know. It
Like,
got a two.
just how? Like, how did Kerry kick out of that?
It's Kerry Morton at the end of the day. That's how he kicked out. He's one of the best in there for a reason. Then there was a high knee. And then finally the gut wrench power bomb. And then Colby hits what that finish that I can't remember what the name of it was.
I never remember it.
But before that, he hit the power bomb, obviously onto the chairs. They got the free, the bell rang, but the feet was on the ropes.
But it wasn't his foot, it was his hand.
Or his hand was on the rope. Sorry.
And the only because I got really confused because I looked over and it was his hand on the rope.
Ah.
And Joe and Tony were like, "Oh, his foot's on the rope, his foot's on the rope," and I'm like, "I'm sure it was his hand. Maybe I'm imagining it, but I was sure it was his hand actually on the rope."
I could be having thingies from what happened at Ignite this past weekend in the world title match with the foot on the ropes as well. So I could be going back, may have got myself mixed up with that. But they did restart the match. I think it's the Philly roll, is it? The finish
Finley
or
Bowl, yeah.
Philly roll. Onto the chairs again. This time, Colby picks up the victory. But I mean, God, if you're going to watch any rest, I mean, you could watch any of these three. They're all great for a reason. But if you're going to watch any NWA match this week, watch that. Or you're going to watch any match this week, watch that. Because I'm telling you, this is where the NWA brings that kind of they've got the old school vibe with the new school stuff, and that's when they do it right here. That match, it is absolutely tremendous. Um,
Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It did not disappoint. It lived up to what I hoped it would be. So,
yeah,
and
sometimes you
that's
get
all you could ever ask for.
Yeah, exactly that. Sometimes you get it, you look at it and go, "Well, this is going to be good," and it doesn't quite live up to expectations. Something doesn't go right. They don't have the chemistry. Nah, absolutely none of that in this one. As I said, probably one of the best. I think so far this year. I know we're only nearly 2.5 months into the year, but that's the best match in NWA this year so far. This at least for now. I mean, don't know. It could be. We've got two cage matches coming up on Looks That Kill yet. It's coming up
Yeah.
over the next few weeks, so
And
we could
it's
be.
only February.
And it's only February, and we have so much more NWA to go. But what a match! Kudos to Colby. Kudos to Kerry. Put on a brilliant, brilliant match there. That Colby picks up the win. So now, when does Colby decide I want a championship?
Probably now, if he
Because
hasn't already done so.
yeah, because surely this kid's now he's got to be there or thereabouts.
The
Sure.
last belt he had was the junior heavyweight
Yeah.
championship,
Yeah.
so he's got a couple of options.
Yeah. He's got
I'd
the.
love to see him go for another one, and I'm not even over remotely fussed which one it is, to be honest. I'd just quite like to see him with a wee strap round his waist.
Oh, do you want to see him beat Latimer then?
I think that could be a match and a half.
It could be a match of the half. I'm just asking if you want Latimer to lose to Colby.
If Latimer's going to lose to anyone, Colby's someone that I'd be okay with him losing to in that company.
Fine. You know it's going to be someone you're going to hate, though, right?
Yeah,
It's going to be like a Kerry Morton or someone like that's going to beat him. You know that, right?
probably.
It's just like they've got this thing like, who does Fiona hate? Right, let's have him beat him for the championship. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, at the moment, Latimer's still got it. He's got EC3 coming up probably in a couple of weeks. Um, I am liking these free match cards, though, I have to say, because they get
They're
time.
longer matches.
Exactly. And the time that match there was a good
That
12
was a
minutes.
20-minute that was a
20.
20-minute time limit as
Oh,
well.
oh,
So,
okay. So that went
yeah,
12 to 15, right? The first match went about 10 at least.
yeah.
Maybe more, maybe longer. Maybe both went longer. I can't quite remember. But I prefer this, and I really would
Rather
like
than
them.
squeezing 5 matches in a
Even the
50,
four.
45, 50-minute show.
Yeah, because I think even sometimes when you have four, that it's just there's one match that's always like you get that 6:05 limit, which isn't too bad sometimes. But I always seem to think that they do the 6:05 limit on a match that I want to see go 16-10
Yeah.
instead of 6:05. So yeah, more of these free matches card, not match
Yeah, I like
weeks.
it.
Really good. I mean, I know this makes this quicker for us, but as long as the match quality's there, this podcast can take 5 minutes. As long as the match quality's there, I really
That's
don't care.
it. That's exactly
Um,
it.
but we now move on to the second title match and the final title match, the main event of the evening, the It Girls. Now, originally, this match was the It Girls against Big Mama, who is the women's television champion,
Television champion, yeah.
and Kylie Page. Now, at the start of this, Kylie's dad, Tommy, comes out along with Kylie, who was in a sling. Now, I totally forgot that she was hurt.
It seems like so long ago, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
she had broke her arm at that point?
I can't remember.
She'd done something to her arm. Anyway, she wasn't medically cleared to compete.
And her dad wouldn't let her fight, even
And
though she wanted to.
her dad wouldn't let her fight. Now, bearing in mind that the other thing to remember about this is the It Girls decided they were coming out first, which is
I love, honestly, Ella's entrance was just glorious.
she is
Like, I love her so much.
she's so good. I really I
I'm
really
really confused though about Sam Star or Miss Star.
with a neck brace again
She
still.
had the neck brace back on again. And so is this just like a fashion statement now as opposed to like a protective thing or
You know what it is? She probably because they record so like weird that she probably forgets if she's taking it off during another episode before,
maybe?
or it's probably just as you say, it's a fashion statement.
I mean, it is all bejazzled and stuff, so
I'm glad you said bejazzle on that. Yes, it is, and it is very diamond, all the diamonds and all that stuff in it. But anyway, going back to what we was originally talking about, Big Mama comes out, Kylie Page comes out with Dad in hand, as you said, not allowing her to compete. So and you're thinking, well, okay, if it's not Kylie, then who? Well, we kind of did we not predict this, or did we not say something about
we
Kenzie?
said something about it. But Kyle was about to basically well, not throw the match out, but give
Yeah,
give the It Girls a bye, basically.
it was until Kenzie Page comes in. Now, this is where Carl has another one of his concussion moments. I didn't know that Kenzie Page was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
I missed that
I
pop.
didn't.
I missed that. I wish I'd heard that. I'd have popped hard for that last night. That's
and
fun.
I had to replay it to make sure I was absolutely correct. But yes, he said NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
That's funny. Oh, bless him. I
Good
hope you
old
feel
Carl.
better soon, Kyle.
Yes, indeed. And don't get back in the ring until you do, if you're going to get back in the ring. So Kenzie ends up being Big Mama's partner in this match. And do you know what? I did like that Kenzie actually worked most of this match.
She did. She
Which
did. She worked hard.
she did work hard in this. And obviously Kenzie was only on last. I mean, we don't know at the positions of when these matches were actually recorded. Because what we know with NWA is sometimes they record it and it puts around and goes around in roundabouts. So we don't necessarily know when this match was on compared to her match with
Yeah.
Haley J. But what we do know is in consecutive weeks we've seen Kenzie wrestle. So for our point of view, she wrestled last week. She wrestled again this week. She spent the majority of this match in the ring. Big Mama come in near the end of this match, which then, and I think Kenzie re got the tag back in because I'm pretty sure I think it was Ella was going to hit. I think she was going for Crossroads or some kind of. I'm sure it was Crossroads, right? Because she had Kenzie's head there. She
Yeah.
went to spin it. Kenzie spun out of the way, hits the Kenzie cutter, and now the women's champion, the women's world champion, Kyle, and the women's television champion are now also the women's tag team champions. It's Kenzie and Mama Two
Kenzie
Belts.
two belts.
Kenzie two belts, Mama two belts, which was a shocking way. I mean, we did know that Ella Envy had left, but we wasn't sure what point. We was like, oh, they're going to be at Shockwave. Is that when
Yeah.
she drops it? We wasn't quite sure. We knew, and obviously when the new teams were debuting at Shockwave, so we wasn't quite sure whether whether she was going to be at Shockwave to drop the titles there. But actually, no, that she dropped the titles at Looks That Kill.
Yeah. So
So,
that's exciting. This is actually quite cool. I kind of feel a little bit for Kylie though,
mm,
because obviously Kylie was supposed to be in that match. Um,
was
I kind of feel like she's given up her spot for her sister a little bit.
or is Kenzie only doing it while Kylie's out?
I don't know.
I
That's
doubt
a bit
it.
of a grey area, isn't it, really?
I don't think she would have done. I think that's just a case of tough.
Yeah. There's probably Big Sister stamping her authority and going, sorry,
Sisterly love,
I
maybe.
put the work in, I have the belt.
And to be
Game
fair,
over.
she did put the work in that match because again, she was on the majority of this match. It was Kenzie in that ring.
Yep.
So you have to be fair to her. She deserved the win. They deserve the win. The It Girls. What happens now? We know Ella Envy. Well, we were assuming that's her last match with the NWA, but we've been surprised in the past. Who was the last? Who was the last one that left? Then she had that
Oh, was it
match.
Miss Kate?
Missa K, that was it. She had left. We thought that was her last match, and then she was on the following week or
Yep.
whatever it was. So we don't know if that's Ella's last match. If it is Ella, thank you for the time that you've been there.
Honestly, you've been so entertaining. Like, I'm actually going to miss seeing her in the ring. I'm going to miss her promos and just her complete sassiness. And she was always, always entertaining. Like, as a character wrestler, because
Yeah,
she was a character, I thought she was phenomenal.
yeah, she really was, and we wish you luck with wherever you end up, and we hope that you end up on our television screens in the
In
future.
some way, shape, or form
Yeah,
at some point.
we love to see you back on. But again, Ella, thanks for the time in NWA, and thanks for the memories from us. Anyway, you will be missed for us from our point of view.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and that's where NWA finished, but they did announce a match for next week. Now, this was our guest that you'll see tomorrow on this channel, Brian Idol. What a great interview that was, by the way. He gave us a lot of his time, probably too much of his time because he loved talking. He was great, great guest.
Yeah.
It's going to be Brian Idol against Silas Mason in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Now, the this is where I got a bit because we've been kind of inundated. Well, we kind of know we're in the know about what happens in this match. And the only thing I was going to say about it is, well, surely if the we know that Brian gets injured in this quite early on, why didn't they just
Yeah.
roll him up and get the pin? If it's Falls Count Anywhere,
I don't know.
why wouldn't they just count pin him out on the outside of the ring?
I have no idea.
We'll have to wait and see what actually. I mean, obviously, we don't know the full extent. We know that the match gets stopped. So I'm sorry if I'm spoiling any of this for any of you, but we know the match gets stopped due to injury next week. Brian's shoulder was in a pretty bad way from what
Yeah.
and I think what does he tell us that on the? I don't think he does he? He doesn't tell us that. I think that was what he was talking about before we go on air with him. I can't quite remember. It was last week when we recorded it, guys. We've been asleep since then. A lot's happened since then, and I'm not quite sure. But yeah, the good news is Brian Idol is healed. He's fine. He's coming over here in about 3 weeks' time over in the UK with
Yeah, not
Markova
long.
as well. I'm gutted. I'm going to miss them when they're down the road from me. Unfortunately, I'm at a bloody wedding. Why can't they just move the like get married another day so I could go and
They
see
could
it?
come and have a match at the wedding.
Not just Brian can you not just come to the wedding and just be my guest? I don't know. But yeah, say Brian Idol stuff drops tomorrow. His match with Silas Mason will be next week. And don't forget, you can watch NWA on the NWAX account. Just go on there. They pin the episodes every
Yeah,
week. So you'll be able to go and watch this one. I think 60,000 people have already viewed. Well, they've got 60,000 views
nice.
already on this when I last looked anyway. But B, apart from our ICW, was you not called into action last weekend?
I got a little last minute phone call for SWE up in Dundee on Saturday. They had their fast track rumble, so they had a 30-man rumble, which was the whole of the first half of the show,
Oh wow.
which was great. Um, Entertaining for me. There was a lot of new faces for me that I've never called out before and stuff. So my notes were hilarious. Because I'm like trying to remember who's who and what their names are, and it's like ring name, and I'm like curly haired guy, this person, black and yellow shorts guy, like just so that I could keep on track of who was who and who was getting thrown out. So that was fun. We've also we had a double cash in as well for the
Double.
double, yeah, well, so we had a double cash in for the in the main event. It was a match against it was Mike Musso, who's the W3L heavyweight champion,
Right.
against the challenger heavy artillery Rory Shaw, singles match for the world championship, the heavyweight championship. They've had a lot of beef, so this has been a long time coming to a head. It was a no DQ match as well. Last year's Fast Track Rumble winner, this was his last chance to cash in his briefcase, and he did. So he came out to cash in his briefcase and make it a three-way. And then the lights went out, and when they came back up, our Fast Track Rumble winner from the night, so from the very same night,
Yeah.
came out and decided that he was cashing in to make it a fatal four-way. And he did. And he has walked out as the new SWE champion, and that is none other than Hugo Harris, who is an incredibly talented human being. But he turned on the Jackal, who cashed his briefcase in before, who is his actually was his tag team partner. So he's turned on his tag team partner.
Oh God.
So there was all the drama on Saturday night. So that was my Saturday evening. Very unexpected. My first show of the year. So I was buzzing to get back in amongst it because it feels like I've not had a show for a long, long time. So it was good. So yeah, SW was good. We had a great crowd in, probably the biggest crowd we've had since COVID.
Lovely.
So yeah, good times. Definitely good times.
And are you in Cumbernauld tomorrow for the Premier British Wrestling Show?
I am tomorrow evening or this evening, depending on when you're watching. When's this going out?
No, no, tonight. So it'd be tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, tomorrow evening on Thursday night, it is the first PBW show of 2025
Mhm.
at, did write it down, at Ravenswood Primary in
It is.
Cumbernauld. So the doors are at 6:30 for a 7 o'clock bell time tomorrow. Um, I have not, no, I have seen the card, I just can't remember. I know Angel Hayes is in action, I know Davey Blaze is in action, Logan Smith's in action. Um, no Krieger in action because he abandoned us all and went and moved to Canada. He has had he moved out to Canada on the Friday, and then
Yeah.
the following weekend, after his first full week, he had two shows, one on the Friday,
Wicked.
one on Saturday night. So he's made his Canadian debut.
Brilliant.
Um, yeah, but no Krieger, sadly. But
No,
the
and
rest of the
then
show will be great. Tickets available. I think it's ringsideworld.co.uk, or you can pay at the door. Come on down, and it should be a fun Thursday night.
and the ending of the month, the all-female show in Clydebank, Chaos in Clydebank.
28th of February, Chaos in Bank. So this is our second all-female show. We did one last year, which was great. Like entirely females, female MC, female refs, female wrestlers, the female crew. Well, a couple of boys helped with the ring and stuff. But it was great last year. We're really, really looking forward to going back there. It's a great little venue. And we've got some Danish wrestlers are coming over for it. Some of the girls from I think it's Dansk Pro Wrestling will be over for it. But we've got a good little lineup coming up for you for that. So that'll be fun.
Do you know what? Sorry, just to interrupt. You know what I said about the world heavyweight champion?
Hmm.
NWA have just put out on it about it. So someone put on there, there's a guy called Mayday, and he tweeted, "Book it, you cowards!" Hashtag NWA Power, and he's got one side. It's the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Kenzie Page, and then the NWA have just tweeted like quote tweeted it and gone, "What has Carl Davis done?" I knew I wasn't
There you go and
hearing
have a
things.
look at that. That's brilliant. I
Go and
love
have a
it.
look at it. So you got that. Was there anything else in between those two dates?
Probably.
Probably. Probably. There you go.
No, there must be. So this weekend's for the love of wrestling.
Yeah.
I think I might have some. Have I got W3L? Let me have a little look. Let me check the old calendar.
I've done your Premier British Wrestling job for you. I'm not going to do your W3.
No, 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 I don't.
No?
28th. No, I don't have anything.
There
And
you go.
then into March, I've got main event entertainment on the 1st of March. I
Yep.
get W3L on the 2nd of March, PBW on the 8th of March,
Sweet.
and then I'm going to Texas
So are you missing the 26th and the 28th?
of
March.
March. No, I'll be home in time. I
The
come home on the 25th.
So the
So
26th they're in Motherwell and the 28th they're in Larbert, I
yeah,
believe.
Larbert's always a banging show. Like the Larbert Hall is just such an incredible venue. I love, love, love working at that venue. So
So there's Premier British Wrestling. I'll send you my invoice.
yeah, yeah. It's Ross Watson you want to talk to.
To be fair, I have went on the Facebook to have a look, and that's where I found it. But first things first, we need to congratulate Aluna for winning the number one contenders match at Ignite this past weekend against Shane Hook and Harrison Bennett in what everyone has called match of the night. Now, if you go to, I don't know if Spinebuster Media has put it on, but Fee, I think I may have the whole show. I will send it to you. Spinebuster Media.
Spinebuster are great. We've done work with them before as well in the past.
I will shout them out big time because the show was Sunday. I received the video Monday night
Yeah.
from the show. There's no commentary on it. But anyway, going to my point, it was Aluna, Shane Hook, Harrison Bennett put on match of the night in the majority of the people's eyes at the show. Aluna pick up the victory. So, Marky boy, when you fancy coming back from Noah, and assuming you're back before May 18th, if you're not back before May 18th, that title is coming off your waist regardless, because you will be stripped of that championship. But assuming you want to come, it's going to be a one-on-one, Mark. This is what you wanted, right? You don't want fatal four ways. You don't want tag team matches. You got one-on-one with a Luna, May 18th for the Turnbuckle Championship. Big thanks to Tate Mayfairs for coming in as well. He was unfortunately
He's
unlucky.
brilliant.
He is. He did come unstuck against a man you could against a wrestler you could put a broomstick in there with, Tommy Kyle. They had a great battle. And I hope you enjoyed your pizza, Tate. He was going to have a butter chicken pizza the next day. It was cheat day.
I'm checking pizza.
Yeah,
That
he sent
sounds
me the picture
amazing.
on X. Hope you enjoyed that. It was great to see you. Big things are on the horizon for that man. And if Tommy Kyle isn't booked at a big, I'm not saying Ignite isn't big, but if Tommy Kyle isn't booked at a big promotion this year, I don't know what the fuck British wrestling's doing. He is unbelievably talented, that guy. He's not long been back. I mean, he's back from injury probably about 18 months, and it looks like he feels like he's got time to make up, in that sense. He's banger. To quote Seamus, banger after banger after banger. That's the worst Irish accent you'll ever hear in
That
your
is
entire life.
actually shocking.
That was proper bad, wasn't it? So yeah, congratulations to him. Congratulations to Aluna and Tommy Kyle. Tickets from May are well, they sold 70 odd already,
Ah, that's
which
good
is a
going.
big
Okay,
one for
that's
the
early.
last stand. Um, I know a bits that I can't say on this particular show because it hasn't been announced yet. But the clue may be in the name for those of you who are thinking, what type of match could be happening? Think about it, everybody, and go and get your tickets because you're not going to want to miss it. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. So yeah, congratulations to those two individuals. Big thanks to everyone that showed up. Big thanks to all the wrestlers that come as well. It was a great show. Saturday, myself and Rachel are heading down the road, literally down the road to RCWA for One Fall for You. What a way to spend Valentine's weekend. We're
Oh,
going to be
you big
spending.
romantic.
What a romantic. I am treating Rachel to a night of wrestling,
I
which is
love
going which is going to have a tables match between Taylor James. Oh shit, who's he facing? That's a hold the phone here. I need to remember who Taylor James is facing somebody. Oh, Kelly Six. Sorry, in a tables match. There you go. There's plenty of other matches on there as well. Joe Lando is going to be wrestling Mike Bird for the championship in there as well. So there's the Elite One championship. Taylor James is going for the World Championship against Kelly Six in their tables match. There's so much more. Oh, and another big one just before I mustn't forget the big surprise at Ignite this past week was the return of Corey McRae after 6 months.
I saw that.
Ooh, he got a
I saw a
response.
little video of that. He got some welcome.
Hey, he's a bit of Popeye. He's been eating his spinach because that boy's pumped. I tell you
Yeah.
that. He's definitely had a can of spinach. And just one more shout out to Harrison Leon for the amazing work that he done on the social on Ignite social media platform over the weekend. It just looked like that, and I don't mean this in production quality, but when you watch Raw and you see him walking through the back and stuff like that, he was doing all of that this and he was posting it and it just looked, you saw him doing push-ups and all of that stuff, the sort of stuff that you see when you're watching the AEWs and WWEs. He done a tremendous job, so I want to see the big boy baller back in the ring at Ignite. But if you're just going to come and do that, then please just come and do that every single time and get in the ring as well, because you are extremely talented as well. So big thanks to Harrison Leon. Coming up on this show very soon, Rob Van Dam, Gangrel, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. Fucking, I'm gonna need to hide, I think, for that one. I can't announce another name because contractually I'm not allowed to. But I've told Fee who that one is, and currently doing their 90 days. That's all I can say. But we'll be on the show in May. Hope well, May's the time apparently. Anyway, so we won't hold him to that, but that's what we're looking at. So it'll be good fun. But Fee, we've done Looks at Kill Part 2. Looks at Kill Part 3 is next week. So shall we do that next week?
I think we shall.
I think we shall. Until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.